All right, friends, welcome to the track. This is Joe, BlueOvalRacingHoScale Custom and Performance. Soldering. That's what I have been doing. Soldering. All of the drops. I think there's 144 throughout the track. I am down to the last 16. I did not do this in one day because, to be honest with you, I didn't feel like it. It's tedious. You're trying not to burn your track, melt the track. And if you do get a boo-boo, especially like in here, you can just scrape it out with like an X-Acto. If you melt the edge a little bit you get the picture. You just don't want to hit the track with the soldering iron. Try not to. And I'll be honest with you, I did in a couple spots, 2 spots around the track, just the very fine tip. I wasn't paying attention and touched the track. It did not do no big damage. I was able to scrape it lightly with this X-Acto knife. And then I took some very fine sandpaper and sanded it, and it was away. It was not a deep melt. And I also did goof up on one lane on the wires. Driver's side is your positive. That should be the colored wire that matches the lane. In this case, red, and this would be black to ground. I reversed them on one spot so far on the entire track. Not a big deal. Get yourself some. If you do make that boo-boo, you can put a piece of tape and write on it, or get yourself some of these shrink tubes. That way you can correct the mistake. I did it. I think I did it. I think right here. I reversed these two. So instead of the yellow wire being here in the black, I got them reversed, so I'll put yellow shrink tubing on the black and black on the yellow. That makes sense. Update on Willie Boy. Still no timing system. So just when you think things are going smooth, well, guess what? Musgrave Racing. Here I'm giving them compliments on the track because the track was done very well, except for this one piece. And here we go, Willie Boy. No timing system. Friends, I am going to start flapping my mouth again about Willie Boy. It's going to happen. And this one piece of track, which he installed the rails, not the rails, but the colored, I guess it's like a vinyl plastic, in the wrong areas. I've talked about this 2-foot section of track before, where this measurement and this measurement is different. So you cannot just flip the track around, because then the edge of the track sticks out further and it looks like crap and stuff doesn't line up right. So Willie Boy, counting on Willie Boy to send me a new piece. Wrong-o. So my 5-week journey of supposed to have my track in 5 weeks, and it took 14 weeks. He wants me to pay to send this one piece of track back to him so that he can fix his screw up. And then he's trying to tell me he doesn't see how this is wrong, why the track won't spin around. If your measurement between the edge to the first lane right here, the edge of your doohickey, is different from this one, how can you flip the track? Something's going to be off. And I paid a lot of money for this track, and I don't want nothing off. So there's the latest scoop on good old Willie Boy. Just when you think Willie's come out of the shitter, and I'm going to say the shitter, Willie's going back down the shitter. No timing system, and he wants me to send him a piece of track, which would probably take me 14 weeks to get it back. Not only no, hell no, I will not send him that piece of track. He needs to get off his butt and send me a new piece of track. It's only a 2-foot section. So anyways, I'm down to the nitty gritty. These are the last of the wire drops I have to solder. So I'm going to pause the camera, set the camera up. This is the rosin flux I'm using. This is the solder I'm using. The solder has flowed very well with this flux. I'm not telling you to use what I use, but this stuff right here, you don't even have to wipe it off when you're done. You wipe it off the top of the track, you get what I'm saying, but you don't have to clean down in here. This stuff will hurt absolutely nothing. And, all right, hold on. We'll pause the camera. All right, friends. I am no expert on putting together a custom-built routed track. So I haven't claimed to be, I don't want to be an expert in this any way, shape, or form. But all I can do is give you my opinions. And this is only my opinion. I'm not saying anybody to do it my way. This is the way I figured out that I'm doing my track. All the way from the Torx head screws, countersunk screws, to whatever the heck else I've come up with. But some of it I've got from watching Mark's Lock Car Garage. It's probably like 2 years ago he put his track together. I watched some of his videos. BlueOvalRacingHoScale Racing, definitely back in the archives on his videos. And Willie Boy, if you purchase your track from Willie Boy, the Idaho kid, Musgrave Racing, he will send you videos on how to do stuff. And his videos are very good. I can't lie about that. And I'm very happy with the track. I am very, very happy with the track. But I'm not happy that he wants me to send one 2-foot section back to him so that he can correct his boo-boo, and then my track's going to be down when I'm this close to finishing the track so I can be running cars. That's not happening. And I have no timing system. So what I'm doing is I take a car here in the United States, driver's side, power side. On your wire drops, this is on Willie Boy and videos from BlueOvalRacingHoScale Racing on this. I put my car down and I know the driver's side is the positive, the passenger's the negative. So I put a car in a direction it's going to be traveling under standard conditions with the track until I flip the switch. You want all this right for all of your wiring. So I know that driver's side positive, and this is positive, and this will be negative, negative. So the color-coded wires that Willie Boy gives you, included with your purchase, she's not giving them to you, you paid for them. And what I do is I dip it in the flux some. I don't make a big mess on it. I just get a little bit on there. And this is the positive side. I drop it down and guide it into the position it goes. You don't have to press hard with a screwdriver. Just make sure it's down in there. Let's take the other positive. Dip it in the flux a little bit. Positive side. Driver's side again. And get it in there. Some are a little bit more finicky to get in than others, but not much. I mean, see, that's a piece of cake to get that in there. And negative side, remember your car, driver's side, positive, passenger side, negative. All right. That's in there. And last and not least, you can straighten them out a little bit if you need to. When you're doing this deal. Just get a little goop on there, like so, and negative. Each lane has a power, a plus and a negative. And what's nice is the color-coded wire for the lane is the positive, the red. The white's positive for the white, the blue's positive for the blue, and the yellow is positive for the yellow, and all of the negatives are your black wires. And Musgrave Racing, the Idaho Kid, includes all of that with your track. I purchased wire from Amazon. This is, I think it's 18 gauge or 16. 16 gauge wire I purchased. Yellow, blue, red, white, and black for the negative. When I do all of my runs from the driver's stations to power up the sections of track. And I'll get into that later. Again, I am not a professional, but I have watched videos, and I'm going to do mine a little bit different, which some of you may have done it out there already, the way I'm going to do it. But when we get into that, we'll get into it. All right, so my soldering iron of choice, one I purchased from Amazon a couple years back. Flick it on, and this goes up to 450 watts. I put it at about 400. 410, somewhere around there. It'll heat up, it'll make a noise. There we go. It's reached its temperature. The tip, putting it in here. This stuff right here. It's a tip, I guess it's called a tinner. It tints, whatever, I don't know how it works, but it'll clean the tip up, and it puts almost like a coating of solder on the tip in one sense. It makes it nice and shiny. But you clean that, like that. If you're done, it's ready to go. Forgot to get my solder ready. All right, so I got my solder. I'll put a little bend in it. And what I do is, well, I'll need this. I put a light so I can see better. I put a light, like so. I'm right-handed, but I will use my left hand in this situation, and all you have to do is touch the rail and the wire drop, wire tap. Try not to touch the plastic. I've touched the plastic on this edge here in a few spots, and like I said, I take an X-Acto knife and scrape it lightly. Takes the mark right away. Piece of cake, no problem. And put this in there, and it does not take long. I definitely do not want to mess up on camera. And there we go. That one's done. Let's go to this one. If your vision starts getting blurry, I suggest stop, take a break, because my vision gets blurry for some reason. All right, that's done. There's two done already. Piece of cake. The positive and the negative are done. I'm not going to do the rest of them on camera because I may get the jitteries and get a little nervous. But you can reach under your track, push on them lightly, see if they move around. These are fine. If you get a little solder up on the track top, I take my X-Acto, or you can run your solder iron back over it. This is good. I got no problems. Right here. Well, let me run that solder iron right back in there quick. Right on the edge. There we go. You run it inside. There we go. And that's done. and then I take a paper towel, rub over it, and that's it. My soldering joints are not spectacular looking, beautiful, every one of them, but hey, they're soldered, they're not messy. It's going to make the connection I need for the power and the negative, and that's it. Hope this makes sense. Again, I am not a professional. I am not the best person to solder. I am not a professional routed track installer by no means, but anybody can do it. It's not hard. Take your time. Make sure everything lines up when you're putting your track down. I was kind of particular on drilling all the holes. Go back and look at my other videos. But let me turn this off for now. And that's it for this part. Once I solder the remainder of the taps, power drops, whatever the heck you want to call them, once the jumpers, these are jumpers and power taps. But once I'm finished soldering these, I'm done with the soldering. The soldering is done. Absolutely done. Then what I have to do is build the driver stations that screw onto the side of the table on that side. And that's the next task. And I will do that, start that tomorrow. So, anyways, friends, just a quick video. And let me grab one of these. See what I do with it. So I have to build my little trays, table, whatever you call them, for the driver stations that these mount to on the edge of the track. And I'm going to build those tomorrow so I can get that done. And I'm really hoping to have this track up and going by the end of the week. If I'm able to keep putting along, then I will have this track going by the end of the week. Today is Monday, but I have no timing system. Compliments of Slick Willie, the Idaho kid, Musgrave Racing. I don't know what the problem is about that, but I'm not happy with it. So, I mean, you figure, I don't even know how many weeks it's been now total, and I still don't have 100% of my stuff. So, I do have all the Lexan that I paid for that was included with the track. I have all the Lexan that will get put down. I have that. And I have all the control holders I purchased from Willie also. So I have all the control holders. I sent him a damn message, say, look, I ordered black to begin with, but I did send him a message. I sent him a message saying, you know, can you make him in color to match the driver stations? I guess he never read his freaking message. And that was plenty of time. That was before my track was even started. So I don't know if he pick and chooses to read his messages. I have no idea. But I got black, so it is what it is. I originally picked black, but that was before anything was even started. I sent the message. Can you make them the same color as the driver stations? For example, one of them would be yellow, one would be blue, one would be white, one would be red. But no. That's it for this video, my friends. Until next time.